Happy friends, welcome to Woolly Wednesday. My name is Jessie and this is mislaidpages, and we've made it halfway through another week. It's April 7th and I have some knitting stuff to talk to you about. So I have one whip to show you and I have a bunch of haul. I've been mostly stitching over the weekend and the last couple of days, so I don't have a ton of knitting to show you, but I will show you what I have. And I have a bunch of new yarn that has arrived from all the stuff that I've ordered, as well as some additional yarn that I forgot that I ordered. So I have a good bit of that stuff to show you. I will say, I think I mentioned last week the Mandalorian knitting treasure trove that I got from Forbidden Fiber Co. I actually did an unboxing video of that will appear shortly on the channel. I think I'm gonna post that. I'll either post that one or the cross stitching one on Monday, and then I'll post whichever one I didn't post the following Monday. So those are coming up on the channel if you were interested in those. So just an FYI, I'm not going to show them here. I'll show them. I have the unboxing videos where you can see all the stuff close up. So those are really fun. I love the treasure troves. I really love that Forbidden Fiber Co. does that. They curate those boxes really nicely. So let's get into it with a sip of coffee. So I've been continuing to work on my SLOCAD, which is officially too large to fit in the screen. So this is probably, it's like half my body length. It hits my hip as I'm sitting here. So this is good and long. This is going to be a nice wrap when it's finished. So you can see it's a good size shawl already, and I'm only halfway through. I'm on section 13, so I'm officially about halfway through at this point. So you can see there's a lot of shawl there. It's going to be about double this size. So and let's see, I think I was working on section 12, which is that blue section, second from the top, last week. I decided to only do the 6 repeats instead of I think it called for 15 repeats. I decided to just do the 6 because I wanted to save the rest of that blue for my inauguration celebration shawl. So I have started working on section 13, and I may be able to see, I don't know if I can get it close enough to the camera. There's actually a row with some slip stitches in color 6 that passes through section 13. I don't know how well you can see that, but this is continuing to be fun. So this is, as I said, this is my SLOCAD shawl. SLOCAD is Secret Life of Cats and Dogs. It's a pattern put out by Casapinka for designed for either 4 colors or for a 24 color mini skein set, and she designed it specifically in conjunction with Asylum Fibers 2020 Holiday Advent set, which I also have, but I didn't have in time for this. So this is Ruby and Rose's 2020 Advent set, which I love. The only issue I have, and I shouldn't say issue, the only thing I'm noticing is that I think Ruby and Rose's base that I'm using, or that I got for the 2020 Advent, I think it's a little bit thinner than most of the fingering weights that I'm used to. And because of that, I probably should have gone down a needle when I started. And I probably could switch it up now, but I'm concerned that if I go down a needle now halfway through, it'll look disproportionate to the other half that I've already done. So, but there's a couple of sections that I kind of wish were a little bit tighter. But even so, it's fantastic and I love it. And yeah, it's beautiful. And certainly, even though I will probably never have these specific colors again, I will absolutely be getting more yarn advents in the future. So it's not as if I can remake this at any point in time if I choose to. So I have to remind myself about these kinds of things, because sometimes I get that mentality where it's like, well, I did it and it's done and it's gone and it's over and I can never do it again. But you can do it over again. Like, I may not be able to do it with these specific colors, but I already have one other advent sitting waiting for a pattern, and I have and I've ordered a new advent for 2021, which I'm sure will be the first of multiples because y'all know how I do. But yeah. So, but yeah, that's where we are with Secret Life of Cats and Dogs. I'm kind of hyper focusing on this one because I want to use these colors in my inauguration celebration, which is also a casapinka pattern. But I want to use all these extra colors, these beautiful colors, in my inauguration celebration. And I can't do that until I finish with this, because this keeps going back to earlier colors. So it's not just, you know, section 13 is color 13, it's section 13 is color 13, but there's some color 6 mixed in, and that happens all throughout the pattern. So until I finish this, I don't feel safe using the leftovers from my Ruby and Roses for inauguration celebration. So that's why I've only been working on this, because I'm trying to get that finished. So that is that. So that's the only thing I've worked on. I'm way behind again on my on my temperature shawl, but that's okay. It's one of those things I pick up when I pick it up when I really can't brain, and when I really need something that's very relaxing and very calming. That's what I pick up, because it's very, very simple. The most complicated thing is the color changes. And sometimes that's not even complicated, because sometimes we have the same temperature range for like a week at a time, especially coming into this time of year. Well, not actually this time of year, it's like up and down and up and down, but there are certain periods where it's like we have 75-degree weather for like 2 weeks at a time, you know, so it definitely gets easier. So that's my relaxation, and you know, I'm mentally and physically exhausted, but I still want to do something. That's that project. So I guess it's good that I haven't worked on it in a few weeks, because I haven't needed that. I've been able to do stitching, and I've been able to do my my more complicated SLOCAD pattern and all that sort of stuff. So probably a good thing that I haven't kept up with it, but I do want to catch back up with it. I almost definitely won't have a TikTok video for it for March, because I have taken almost no pictures of it. Most of the time when I've worked on it several days at a time, so I haven't taken pictures in between each knitting each day, especially because it's getting huge. So trying to lay it out flat somewhere where I can get a good picture of it is difficult, and to do that after every single pair of rows, yeah, it's not happening. So that's where that is. So it's still on the needles. I'm still working on it. It's going. I've already been more successful with it than I was with the last temperature project I did with yarns. The last temperature project, I started a corner to corner crocheted temperature blanket back in excuse me, 2017 or 2018, and I did not make it through March on that one. And I only made it as far into March as I did because I picked it up at some point later in the year. So I kept track of all the temperatures, but I stopped working on the blanket. And part of that one was actually intended from the beginning to be massive. Now my shawl is sort of accidentally massive, but this blanket was intended to be massive because my whole purpose in making it was that I wanted a blanket big enough to fit on our king size bed. Yeah. It's a lot of crochet, So I got it almost to the width that I wanted it before I stopped. But then I really fell out of love with crochet, and there's nothing wrong with crochet. For some reason, knitting is much more engaging to me. Like, I enjoy knitting a lot more than I enjoy crochet. I can absolutely crochet. And I did nothing but crochet for years because it took forever for me to figure out how to knit. And I think that's probably part of why I like knitting so much, because it feels like an achievement. Whereas crochet is like, oh, that's easy. I just pick it up and do it. Knitting was this thing that I struggled for years to finally figure out. So every time I pick up something and knit it, it feels like a new achievement. So I guess that's part of it. One thing that I did do, and I talked last week about wanting to cast something on, and I still want to cast something new on, and I think I will very soon. So this is, excuse me, I'm all like congested this morning. Allergies. So this is lazy days. What is this? Long spring days. Long spring days. So this is the pattern that came with my Fresh Prince of Bel Air club from Lady Dye, Lady Dye Yarns. excuse me, and that's DYE, Lady Dye, like yarns. So I do intend to start this very soon. In fact, over the weekend, or maybe before the weekend, I actually wound up, that's the word I was looking for, wound up the yarn that I'm going to use. So this is Jeffrey from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air kit, the club. Excuse me. I keep feeling like if I clear my throat enough, I'll finally be done, and then it just never quite happens that way. So this is the colorway Jeffrey, and it's a slightly mottled black, which I think is going to be really pretty. And this is Joker. So this is not from the Fresh Prince set. This is actually a separate color that I purchased in DK weight. So these are both DK weight, and the pattern calls for I think 1 skein each of 2 DK weight colors. And I liked this color combination better. To me, this reads like Black Panther. The purple and the black together. And as much as I love the Fresh Prince and as much as I love the funky 90s colors and all that sort of stuff, I just wasn't sure when I had this option. I wasn't sure that I wanted to use the black with the yellow that that came with it. Now, I think it was Mary Ann pointed out that these are basically Gryffindor colors, or not Gryffindor, derp, okay, Hufflepuff colors. I promise I wasn't hit on the head. So these are basically Hufflepuff colors, and if I were a Hufflepuff, I would do that. I'm not a Hufflepuff. I'm a Slytherclaw. I'm a proud Slytherclaw. So I just couldn't. I didn't have it in me to use this color for that. I have no idea what I'll use this color for. I'll figure something out because it needs to be showcased. That's the word I'm looking for. Now I might even, because I have another skein of Joker, I might even actually do those two together with something, because I think that's still kind of true to the funky 90s colorway. But I think using these two together, to me, in my mind, and maybe this is only in my mind, to me, in my mind, this pays homage to a lot of different things. So it pays homage to both the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, which was a fantastic and groundbreaking show in the 90s, and it pays homage to Will Smith, who I think is still a groundbreaking actor now, but it also pays homage to Chadwick Boseman, who unfortunately is no longer with us, but absolutely was a groundbreaking actor and activist while he was here. So I feel like this brings in a lot more than just the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and that means a lot to me. So yeah, plus I love the colors. Y'all know I love purple. So anyway, so that's what I've decided on that. I'm very happy with that decision. Like I said, I don't know what I'm going to do with these, but I will do something with these at some point. These are both DK weight, so again, I can use those together. There's bound to be some kind of contrasty thing that I can do with these that will be awesome. I also have, I think I've got some cotton yarn in DK weight, gray and purple and pink, and it's possible that I could maybe mix a gray in with these to give it a little bit more, excuse me, oomph. So I'll do something with these, I just don't know what. And I'm just kind of putting them away here. You might be able to tell I have kind of overwhelmed my storage. I'm gonna have to rework some things behind me here because my storage is full, but I still have more things to go in the storage. So consequently, I'm gonna have to do a destash at some point. I have a lot of knit crate stuff that I have come to terms with that I am not going to actually use probably. I'm going to double check everything against all of this yarn to see if I have, because Rachel suggested this, to see if I have any solids or tonals that will work with what I have here, because probably all of these I will keep. These are my fancies, these are my hand-picked, these are my lovelies that are my favorites, which is a lot of favorites. But these are the ones that I hand-picked that I'm still in love with, so I doubt any of these are going anywhere. But I have another bin down here that you can't see that is full of knit crate and some other yarns that I have gotten over the last year or so. And once I determine if any of those will go with any of these as, you know, coordinating colors or something like that, I'm probably going to destash a lot of the Knit Crate stuff. I'm trying to decide how to do that. I could put it up in the Etsy shop. I think it might be more fun or more interesting for y'all if I did something like a live destash. I've seen a couple of folks do stuff like that, and I think it's kind of fun. And there are a couple ways to do it to make it more fair, so it's not a, you know, it's not a who comments first situation, which can cause, like, there can be problems with that because of lag and delays and people's internet and that kind of stuff. But there are a couple of ways to mitigate that so that it's more fair. So if y'all would be interested in a live destash, let me know, because I think that would be fun. It would be easier on me, so I don't have to take pictures and list things and, and do all of that kind of stuff. I'm probably looking to get rid of these yarns for relatively cheap, like basically shipping plus, I don't know, $5 or something per skein, depending on the skein. So if that's something y'all are interested in, I know a lot of you are not necessarily knitters, you just watch for the pretty colors, and that's fine. But if you would be interested in getting in on some of my destash, you know, comment below, let me know what kind of venue you would like to see that in. I could also just do a free-for-all on Patreon for folks that would be interested. So we'll see. It's something I need to do soon because I still have more yarns coming and I have no space now. So rather than what I generally have done in the past in situations like this is I've purchased more storage, or I've found more storage somehow, but I've decided that that's no longer how I'm going to operate. Because I still have a lot of things that have not made it into the craft room that belong in the craft room, because at the moment I don't have space to put them. So rather than buying new storage or trying to find new places to put things, I have decided that it's time, since I have more than can fit in the places I have for them, it's time to destash some of those things so that I have room for things that I'm more excited about. So yeah, trying to live the Marie Kondo life with the, you know, these things don't bring me joy anymore, let me send them out into the world where they can bring somebody else joy. So that's that. Speaking of joy, let me show you my haul. And I just realized I've been talking to the screen, not the camera. I apologize for that. I keep forgetting. So I bought some, I've talked a couple of times about trying to buy more or trying new dyers, and I certainly have purchased a lot of stuff from various dyers, and some of that has come in. I have that to show you, but I forgot about my Super Nerdy Yarn Club. So this is month 4 of my year, or this is colorway 4 of the yearly yarn club. So it ships every other month. So this is colorway 4. This is inspired by the 13th Doctor. Is that the official? Yes. The 13th Doctor on Doctor Who is the first female Doctor, by the way. I feel bad because I have not actually watched Doctor Who since Peter Capaldi stopped being the Doctor. So since they switched to the 13th Doctor, and it's not because of any weird reason, I just haven't watched it. So at some point I need to watch I need to watch the 13th Doctor, but she was part of the group of inspiring women and that sort of thing that the whole series is based on. So, you know, it's not like I bought it or didn't buy it because of the 13th Doctor. Personally, for me, David Tennant is just about my favorite Doctor. Christopher Eccleston will be my first and my favorite forever, but for longevity, for a lot of other reasons, David Tennant's Doctor is probably my practical favorite. It's like I have 2 favorites basically. Anyway, the point is some yarn came in. So as I have been tending to do, my club is actually in the Gluttony sock base, which is a standard 80-20, I think. Let's see. Yes, an 80-20 mix, so it's 80% merino, 20% nylon. It is not shiny. So my regular club is in that, but I tend to buy, because they give you the option, once I see the colorway, I tend to buy a second skein in the Pride base, which has stellina as well. So this is the Gluttony. So this is the standard. And isn't she pretty? It's gorgeous. I love the mix of colors. And there's the purple. Look at the purple. Oh, gorgeous, gorgeous. So we've got these tans and browns and creams and grays, and then the purple. Purple. Love it. Okay. So that's the Gluttony base. This is the Pride. I don't know how well you can see the shimmer a little bit. You can see a little bit. I don't know what it is. There's only a tiny bit of stellina. It might only be like 5%. Actually, it's 10%. 10% stellina. There's only a tiny, tiny little bit, but it gives it just a little bit of shimmer, which really steps it up a notch. So, and because of that, because I've gotten my Gluttony sock base, but I've also purchased a Pride base in almost every colorway so far. I actually went and, because they offered it up this time, excuse me. They offered it up this time to buy extra skeins of previous colorways, because they were opening up the club to new folks on the second half of the year, and they offered up the previous colorways in case you wanted extra or missed anything and all that sort of stuff. So because I had not purchased the Pride base before, I purchased a skein of Storm in the Pride base. So Storm I had, okay, she's right here. So this is Storm. That's the original skein that I got. And I was like, well, I'll probably not need a shiny version of this because this is a colorway I probably wouldn't wear much. But because I'm a completionist, and other reasons, just all the reasons, since I was given the opportunity and I was feeling some regret and some FOMO, I decided to go ahead and buy a skein of Storm on the Pride base as well. So now I officially have one skein on the regular Gluttony base and one skein on the Pride base of every colorway that they've done so far, which has been, let's see, Storm, Willow from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Elsa, and her sister, whose name is escaping me now. So Frozen was the third one, and now we have the 13th Doctor. So it's a lot of yarn, y'all. It's a lot of yarn. But these actually, I'm just noticing this now, these actually coordinate. So if I wanted to, because they have that sort of matching yellow tan cream, if I wanted to, I could actually mix these two together. Nice. Okay. So that is the Super Nerdy Yarn Over Truck Yarn Club. These yarns are actually Forbidden Fiber Co. yarns, but Yarn Over Truck, Mary D at Yarn Over Truck, worked with Leanne over at Forbidden Fiber Co. to develop these colorways, and then Leanne dyed them for the club. And they're fantastic. I love them. And we have the inspiration chart thing that I'm not going to read. So let's talk about other yarn that I have purchased. So this is another dyer that I follow on Instagram. Excuse me, Deepdyedyarns. Excuse me. Deepdyedyarns is out of Kentucky. And she does this thing where she shrink wraps her stuff. So, and hopefully I didn't just show my address on the camera. But she shrink wraps her stuff, so I was just trying to figure out how to get into it. Oh wow, I think she sent freebies. Okay, so I was not expecting that. So first of all, there is a pattern included. A pattern by Stephanie Stratton of Deep Dyed Yarns. Okay, so this is her own exclusive pattern, or her own. She designed it herself. called Bamboo for You. I can't really show it to you without showing you the pattern itself. Let me see if I can. It looks like it's a scarf or a blanket. So I'm gonna hide the instructions as much as I can. But there's the pattern. It's a really nice textural pattern. So that came for free with the yarn. And also she sent enjoy the little things. She sent her card along with this little this little button. So the button says, "Winter is coming, knit faster." And then that's her her business card. I don't know how well that's gonna focus for you. And also a sticker that says Deep Dyed Yarns. So that's really cute. So lots of little extras. I wasn't expecting those. This is a one of a kind, which is actually more like, you know, a couple of a kind. But it's a one of a kind whimsy. And this is on, let me see. This is 92% superwash merino, 8% lurex. So this is that shiny stuff that actually is woven in a little bit more thoroughly than the stellina. Stellina tends to be a little fuzzy. It tends to kind of stick out and be like more textural and fuzzy, I guess is the best word. Whereas lurex is actually wrapped around and entwined with the twist of the yarn, and so it gives you a much smoother overall texture to the yarn. So this is my one of a kind. And after I ordered it, I wished I'd ordered two because you know, this would be fantastic in a large big piece. So I haven't gone back and checked to see if she had any left, because I've been buying so much yarn. I'm like, I really don't need yet another skein of yarn, and I'm sure I can find something to coordinate with this, because I could do a dark gray or a black or something like that, or even a light gray. But yeah, how gorgeous is that? So this is Deep Dyed Yarns. You can follow her on Instagram, and she, like I said, she's out of Kentucky. And this was a total impulse buy, because I follow her on Instagram, and she's like, I have a couple of skeins of these, and you know, you should go to the shop and buy them. And so dutifully, I went to the shop and bought them. I went to her website and bought them. So yeah, because it's like Galaxy, and y'all know me, I love a Galaxy. I also purchased from Treehouseknits, and I believe the owner of Treehouseknits, and I could be wrong, but I believe the owner of Treehouseknits is an Indigenous American. Regardless, she has some beautiful colorways, so let me show you. I got 2 skeins of yarn from Treehouseknits, and I have purchased from them before. In fact, one of my first knitting projects when I got into knitting last year, got back into knitting, was some mini skeins that I purchased from Treehouseknits. And I loved the texture of the yarn. At first I was slightly disappointed because the pictures on Etsy showed the colors to be a little bit brighter and more vibrant than they actually appeared in person. But once I was working with the yarns, the colors are actually really beautiful. They're just not exactly what they were online. And you know, that happens. My computer could be set up differently and provide different colors than she actually, you know, took in her pictures, and so on and so forth. Anyway, the point is that the texture of the yarns was wonderful. I loved working with them. They were very easy to knit with. So I have been meaning to buy more from her, and I just hadn't gotten around to it. This was a perfect opportunity. So this first colorway I got is Serendipity. These are both, I believe, yeah, these are both 80/20 fingering, and these are both hand dyed from Treehouseknits. She is in Austin, Texas. And she now has a storefront. She's been able to open up a physical storefront, which is fantastic. And I wish that I was nearer to Austin, Texas, because I would love to visit. So this is 80/20 fingering in the colorway Serendipity, which is this gorgeous dark teal. Y'all know me in teal. Teal and purple, y'all. Teal and purple. That's what it's all about. It's got some lovely dark greens. It's a beautiful tonal teal. And that is definitely going to work beautifully with something. It's really soft too. It's I think it's going to have a beautiful drape because it's a little bit heavy, and I can kind of feel from how it's draping in my hand that that's going to be fantastic to work with. It's got that really high twist, and it's so funny when I first started doing like purchasing hand dyed yarns and things like that, and like I said, Treehouseknits was one of the first yarns that I purchased. I actually felt like the high twist was a less expensive, like it was an inexpensive looking kind of thing. I felt like maybe I had not gotten the highest quality yarn I could have gotten because the high twist to me looked kind of cheap. But in reality, it's just a different texture. And I really like working with the high twist. In fact, I prefer working with high twist to singles because I tend to have that issue where the yarn splits a lot on me if I'm knitting with a single. So a single is sort of like an individual fiber that's not twisted, so it's more fuzzy feeling and less smooth. Now, I'm not an expert on yarn by any means, so I'm talking about this stuff just from personal experience, not from like industry knowledge, just FYI. Yeah. But in my experience, a single tends to be fuzzier, and there are projects that you want that for. You want that more natural look, that more delicate look, and that kind of stuff. But I really love working with the high twist because it feels a little stretchier. It's more comfortable in my hands. It doesn't split as much when I'm knitting, that kind of stuff. So these are high twist. This color is Sunsweet Berry. Look at how gorgeous that is. Look, oh, the camera is getting that really nicely too. That's gorgeous. It's beautiful, beautiful color. I love it. So this is, I mean, Sunsweet Berry. How can you, it's like really ripe raspberries or something, like raspberry juice. Yeah, it's gorgeous. Like blueberry and raspberry juice mixed together is what that looks like. Oh, gorgeous. So, so yeah, I got some tonals. I have a couple of skeins already in here that I think would go fabulously with these. So this is one of my So Libby's, and I could totally see these three together. Look at that. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Yeah, so so I'm trying to be better about these things. I'm trying to actually pay attention to what I have and what I'm buying, and actually, you know, get things that could work together. So I'm doing better. I'm doing better. Of course, I'm also pulling out all these things that now I have to put back after after I get done filming. So yeah, so the Treehouseknits, that was the last thing I had to show you. They're so gorgeous and so soft, so soft. I think these are going to be a beautiful drape. So anyway, that's what I have for you today. I'm hugging these like I'm hugging them for dear life. But yeah, so that's what I have for you today. I hope you've enjoyed it. I will be back on Friday with the flosstube, and yeah, and Monday with Miscellaneous Monday. I actually have videos for Miscellaneous Monday for a couple weeks, so I'll actually be posting on Mondays as well. And I have a few more. I actually have a to-do list of videos that I want to do for Mondays, and it's just finding the time to do it. So for all of you who were in my live on Sunday, thank you for coming. It was really, really fun. I'm definitely going to be doing more lives going forward. I have heard you. Many of you have said, yes, please, more lives. So I will definitely be doing that. I may only do it like once a month. It's not something I'm going to do every single week. So I apologize if you want them more often, but once a month I think I can commit to. I'm also going to be looking into doing some Zooms, but those will probably be patron only, just to make sure that it's a manageable number of people, and that you know, it's a situation where everybody can participate and enjoy it. So Zooms will be coming to Patreon, lives will be coming more regularly to the channel. So yeah, so I hope you're enjoying that stuff. Otherwise, I will see you Friday for flosstube, and I hope you all have a great rest of your week. Remember to stay hydrated, remember to take your meds, all the meds that you need, and some vitamins too, and remember that good enough is good enough. And I'll see you again next time. Have a great one.